Good morning and welcome to the Peorian. I'm your host, Paul Gordon. Every summer in Upper Bradley Park, a large green tent is erected, covering a round concrete pit. Then lights are installed, then sound equipment, and then seats. And before long, in that space that for 9 months of the year is pretty unremarkable, magic happens. There aren't too many other ways to describe it, really. Except art, of course, hard work in often intense heat, a load of talent, and a lot of fun for both the performers and their audience. In a few weeks, Cornstalk Theater will open its 59th season under the tent, and that annual transformation will be complete. It used to be that Cornstalk was basically the only theater going in the summer, and because of that, audiences really didn't mind the heat and humidity to spend a couple hours under the tent, being entertained while using their programs to fan themselves. That has changed through the years, of course. Other theaters do shows, and we have cable TV. But there is still that unparalleled experience of watching the magic of live theater unfold under that big green tent in Upper Bradley Park. My guest today is Cindy Hoey, manager of Cornstalk Theater, and we're going to talk about their upcoming season after these messages. Welcome back to the Peorian. My guest today is Cindy Hoey, manager of Cornstalk Theater. Cindy, welcome to the Peorian.
Thank you, Paul.
Let's start with the season, the 59th season under the tent. Isn't that correct?
That's
I got
correct.
the right number?
You're right.
It opens June 1st with one of the most popular musicals ever staged, right?
Oh, I would say so. It's a Jerry Herman musical called Hello, Dolly, based on The Matchmaker by Thornton Wilder, classic of the American theater.
Okay.
And it's been popular for years, and I'm sure will prove popular again this year.
The director's Peggy Bro.
Peggy Bro.
Peggy is making her directorial debut
She
at the
is.
tent.
She is, but not in Peoria.
Right.
She's been a very experienced director at Peoria Players and CCT and a lot of the high schools around the area.
And she has choreographed an awful lot of shows.
Yes, she
in
is.
the area.
Yeah, she's an exceptional woman.
Yep. And then the second show of the season
Yes.
will be The Importance of Being Earnest.
Yes, what a classic.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is. It's June 22nd, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
through
no
June
problem.
30th. John Johnson is the director.
Yes.
Also making his directorial debut in the
yes.
tent.
And yeah, although not in Peoria again.
Right.
He's directed for us at the Winter Theater, and he's been in a lot of shows. A lot of people in Peoria will remember him for his signature role of Jimmer in Escanaba into Moonlight.
Oh, yes, Jimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'd like to talk like Jimmer right now, but we're a family show.
Yes.
So. Then the second musical of the summer,
Yes.
Hairspray,
Right.
will be produced starting July 13th through July 21st.
Correct.
And that's another very well-known, very popular
Oh,
musical.
yeah. It's was made into a wonderful movie with John Travolta,
Yeah.
and came off the stage. And a great Broadway production that I had the privilege of seeing on
Did you?
Broadway. And oh, what a great show!
And the director is Pam O'Rear.
Oh yes.
Pam puts on extravagant musicals.
She does, and she's talking about a cast of 80 for this particular show, which is a little larger than most Hairspray casts, but Pam just manages that stage better than any person I have ever met. She did our bang-up production of Les Mis Jr. A couple of years ago, and it was
Beauty
wonderful.
and the Beast before that.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast before that, so she does great work.
I had the pleasure of being in Beauty and the Beast,
yes.
so she can manage that size of a cast
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
The fourth show and the second non-musical
Correct.
is Private Lives.
Yes, another classic.
That'll be the early August.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
It was written by Noel Coward in the
Okay.
1930s. It's a classic of the British stage. I had the great privilege when I was a student of seeing it in London with Maggie Smith and her then husband Robert Stevens.
Wow.
It's one of those light, frothy, sarcastic comedies that Noel Coward does so well. And it's just going to play marvelously on our stage. I think it's going to be a great experience for everyone involved.
And finally, the fifth show.
Yes.
And the third musical.
Yes.
I said in my opening that this summer had something a little bit for everyone. And
It does.
The fifth show certainly shows that. We are going to be producing, you are going to be producing hair.
Hair, that's right, at the tent. Yes. When I say that, everyone's eyebrows go up. It's a 40-year-old show, so it's not like we're introducing anything revolutionary, although that's kind of a play on words there. But hair was produced back in the 1960s. It is controversial. We do know that. But we have possibly one of the more creative directors in Peoria, Chip Joyce, who will be directing this show. Again, this is Chip's first show at the tent, but he directed some wonderful productions, mostly at Eastlake.
Yeah.
And at Peoria Players. He just got off of the production of Big River, which was just beautiful, beautiful production. We have high hopes for Chip, and I know he will not disappoint us. And as I say in my opening remarks for a lot of the shows, the baby boomers are turning 60, and they're buying season tickets. So we hope to see them all out of the tent this summer.
Now, I got to tell you, Cindy, when I tell people that Cornstalk is doing hair, and I should come clean here. I am a member of Cornstalk, former board member, and everything else, so I know very much about Cornstalk. They ask me, what about the nude scene and hair?
Yes, well, we actually have a policy against nudity on the stage at Cornstalk, so I can reassure you that there's not going to be any nudity. And besides, as I want to say to a lot of people, there's not a whole lot of us you want to see nude out there. So no nudity, no.
And finally, there will be a sixth show. Isn't
There
that
will
correct?
be, yes. We are very privileged to bring back Lee Wenger and Denise Adams again.
Okay.
And this time, they're going to produce one of their specialties, a Gilbert and Sullivan musical called The Mikado.
Okay.
And I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Now, that is not part of the regular package.
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. And actually, I will have a deal that I have for season ticket holders that I would like to address when we
Okay.
come back.
Tell me when we come back.
Okay.
When we come back, we will talk about one of Cindy's favorite subjects, season tickets. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Peorian. I'm with Cindy Hoey, manager of Cornstalk Theater. Cindy, in the last segment, we talked very briefly about the Mikado,
Yes.
a sixth show that isn't part of the official season.
Right.
And you said something about a special deal.
I have a special
offer.
deal, right. First off, if you're a season ticket holder at Cornstalk, you may purchase Mikado tickets for a $3 discount per ticket.
Okay.
They're normally $18, but again, if you're a season ticket holder, you can buy that ticket for $15. Then the other segment of that deal we have is we've had, as I said, eyebrows raise about hair. And we know that we may have season ticket people who probably don't want to see it. So, if you would like to exchange your hair tickets for Mikado tickets, we will allow you to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, it will not have as many performances as the regular
Correct.
show, correct?
Correct. It runs September 5th, 6th, and 7th, which is a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Season tickets. Well, okay, before I go into that though, one of the benefits of a fundraiser not only helps Cornstalk and other theaters to enhance the experience for their audiences by purchasing new equipment or whatever needs to be done, but
Right.
it also helps keep the overall costs down.
Correct.
Because of that,
Yes.
you're offering the season tickets at the same price as
Same price as last year. Right.
Which
yeah.
is?
It's $66.
Okay.
Covers all 5 shows. So essentially, you're getting a show for free when you buy a season ticket.
That's how it works out?
Yes.
How so? Think about
Well, if we add them all together, the season tickets would cost $78.
So you take,
So,
okay, got
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Is that one of the better deals for a season ticket for live theater
I
in
think so.
town?
I think so. I mean, when you look at any professional theater in the area, you're going to pay $66 for a ticket if you're lucky. I can really remember the price we paid for our Wicked tickets this year, and it just doesn't compare. So, and I do believe, I mean, granted, we're not a professional theater, but I would stack up most of our performances against anything you can see in professional theater.
I would
We have
agree
some
with you on
very
that.
dedicated people and very talented people.
Yes, we do. And individual show ticket prices, those also have stayed the same?
They have stayed the same. It's $18 for musicals. 12
adults.
12 if you're a student.
Okay.
$12 for the non-musicals, 10 if you're a student.
And a student is?
Anyone 18 and younger is a student.
And the Mikado prices will be the 18 and 12?
It will be the musical price, correct.
Okay.
The 18 and 12, right.
Why do non-musicals cost less ticket prices?
They cost less for tickets because they cost less to produce. They cost a lot less to produce. The royalties are usually a lot cheaper for the non-musicals. We also don't have to pay musicians for the non-musicals. There's also a lot of other production costs that go into a musical. Costumes are usually more expensive. Sets are usually more expensive. You've got more people in it, so you're putting more makeup on people, putting more hair on people. Generally, the costs are lower for non-musicals. And as a matter of fact, we have what's called a public domain non-musical in the season this year. And that's a show that is old enough that there are no longer royalties attached to it. And that's The Importance of Being Earnest, which was
Really?
written by Oscar Wilde back in 1895, I believe.
No kidding.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't realize that show was that old, and yet
it's still vibrant, and people do it all the time. It's a real classic of the theater. It is, in my mind, the comedy classic of the modern theater.
its themes still resonate today.
Yes. It's just, it's mistaken identity. It's, I think, probably the precursor to a lot of the Neil Simon comedies.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a break now for messages from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the experience of Cornstalk Theater. But first, here is Kevin Kaiser to talk about what's going on in the literary and culinary world.
Since we're talking about acting this week, I thought I'd talk about food, naturally. Actually, what I'm going to talk about involves acting, food, and literature, so it's a trifecta of creative goodness. It's a film called The Trip, and it stars British actors Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. Coogan's face may be familiar to Peorians from the movies Tropic Thunder and My Idiot Brother, and the pair co-starred previously in Tristram Shandy, A Cock and Bull Story, but Brydon really hasn't made it across the pond, so to speak. In this pseudo-documentary, subtitled Eat, Drink, and Try Not to Kill Each Other, Coogan is asked by The Observer to tour some of Britain's finest restaurants for a special segment in the magazine. He envisions it as the perfect getaway for himself and his beautiful girlfriend. But when she has to back out due to work obligations, the only person left to accompany Steve is his best friend and source of eternal aggravation, Rob. Now, all that is simply a pretense to allow these two brilliant comedians to travel around Britain and drive each other mad with constant showdowns of competing impressions of actors like Al Pacino, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and Liam Neeson, with perhaps the greatest being an incredible Michael Caine throwdown. You'll be saying, "My name is Michael Caine," in your own horrible British accent for hours on end. Now, I mentioned this is a pseudo-documentary, and that's because the restaurants they visit are real. We get to see behind the scenes in the kitchen and each course as it's presented, including various wines and desserts. When they are dining, the film has more of a Top Chef feel. I also mentioned that literature was involved, aka the exciting part. During the trip, the duo make a stop off at Dove Cottage, the home of English poet William Wordsworth. Now, Coogan is a big Wordsworth fan in real life, and who isn't? And Brydon celebrates this fact by reciting some of his work in the voice of Captain Picard. Coogan and Brydon are an amazing odd couple, and The Trip is something anyone who has an interest in food and, well, laughing a lot should check out. It's available on DVD, Blu-ray, Blockflix, and Netbusters. And you can also go to the Literaria section of thepeorian.com, where we have posted some of our favorite clips from the film. And that's really it. I didn't figure an ending for this week, so I'm just going to keep talking and let Mike figure out how to cut.
Welcome back. We're talking with Cindy Hoey, manager of Cornstalk Theater, about the upcoming season under the tent. Cindy, in my monologue, I talked about the unparalleled experience of watching magic unfold under the tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get syrupy like that from time to time. But really, there really is nothing like it. Is
There's
there?
nothing to describe it. When the temperature is right and the breeze is nice, and it's just magical. That's the only thing I can describe it. I've had a lot of people ask me if I think we're the best theater in Peoria. Well, of course I do. I think we're the best theater in Peoria. But I will say, without a doubt, and I will challenge anyone that to deny this. This is the prettiest place to see theater in Peoria.
Yeah.
We have beautiful gardens. The park with the oaks is right there, and it really is. It's truly magical.
A lot of people come real early.
Yes, they do.
To spend time in the park.
They
before
do.
the
They bring their picnics with them,
Yeah.
and we have picnic tables set up right near the theater, and bring a picnic lunch and have a nice early dinner, and then come enjoy a show. It's a great experience.
And we have to give the park district a little bit of credit.
Oh, yeah. I have to give the Park District a lot of credit, frankly. They've been very, very good to us. And the plantings they do and the landscaping they do is marvelous. It really is. It's beautiful.
Well, one thing that you cannot control is the weather.
That's true.
And for the tent, the weather is always a factor.
It is, yes.
Cornstalk has taken some steps in recent years to try to mitigate the heat a little bit, correct?
Right. We've purchased some misting fans that we run prior to the performances to shoot some cool air into the tent. And then we run them during intermission as well. We've had people ask why we don't leave them running all the time. They are noisy.
Yes, they are.
And they do impact the people that are sitting close to them as far as them being able to enjoy the show. So, depending on the show and depending on the level of volume in the show, a show like Hair, we could probably run them most of the night and not have any problem with it. But a quiet show like Private Lives, that would be a problem to do that.
If they run those fans, and we're talking about the kind of fans, like you see on football sidelines.
Yeah, or like
in
at
August or
Disney
September.
World and
Yeah.
a lot of those.
If they run those all afternoon the day of a show,
Yes.
it can be 15 degrees
It is
cooler inside.
easily anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees cooler in the tent than it is outside
And
when
that
you run them.
makes
Yes,
a
it does.
big difference.
Makes a big difference.
Okay. And they really do work with
Yes.
that well.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And a couple of years ago, we had a situation where during the opening show of the year, the King and I, we had a tornado warning.
Yes, we did.
And I remember it well because I happened to be the stage manager. And when we had the tornado warning, we were warned by park police that a tornado, the same tornado that hit Elmwood,
Yes, that was that night.
was heading right at us.
Right.
I was at a loss of what to do to protect our
Right.
patrons and our performers because we had no time to really
Right.
evacuate.
Yeah.
We got lucky. Since that time, the Cornstalk Board has developed some emergency procedures, correct?
Right. We have a series of warnings that we do in case of storms. We allow people to know that there is a tornado approaching, or there are tornadoes warned, there are tornadoes approaching, and we give them the option to do what they would like to do. Would they
Okay.
like to leave? Would they like to stay? We give them that option.
Okay.
They have the right to go ahead and decide whether to leave or stay, depending on what kind of situation we are in at the time. If it's just like a watch, then we don't refund money at that point. But if it is in fact a warning, we will definitely refund their money. But we're not going to do it that night. We would like them to leave because we would like them to not be there when the tornado comes, and then we will do that after the fact.
Now, if it's a warning, those sirens can easily be heard
Oh yes.
at
Oh yes.
Cornstalk. We'll stop the show,
Oh
correct?
yes.
And that's when we
That's
let
when you make
people
the
know what's going
announcement.
on.
Right.
The show also will be stopped if the rain is heavy enough that
Yeah,
you can't hear.
sometimes it's heavy enough that you cannot hear inside the tent. So we will stop the rain. I stop the rain. I wish we could. We will stop the show. We'll make an announcement. as to why we are doing that, and then we will pick up close to where we were and continue.
That is just another part of the experience.
And we have
of
done that
Cornstalk
for
season.
years.
Sure.
And believe it or not, those are the shows people remember.
Yes.
And they talk about.
They are.
Yeah.
Cindy, thank you for being
Oh,
here.
thank you for having me, Paul.
Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the show and are getting excited for the coming Cornstalk season, and that you make it out to the tent this summer. Remember, season tickets are on sale, $66. It's a great bargain. Remember, you can watch this and previous episodes of The Peorian on our website, thepeorian.com. And tune in next Sunday at 8 a.m. on WHOY TV or on our website for what should be a hauntingly good show. Have a good week.
Música